8:59.
Ain't legal yet.
Okay, wait a minute.
Yeah, man, just put
There it is.
Order for the pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On our Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Okay, we do have, proof posted in accordance with chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code, that's amended known as Texas Government Police Act.
Yes.
Ma'am. Any members of the public which speak should each have 3 minutes to address the court. Would like to have any today. Item number 1 on the agenda is to approve the minutes of November 6, 2025 regular meeting.
No minutes to that.
No action. Item number 2, budget transfers and amendments.
I make a motion to approve budget amendments and the certifications that go with Union National Bank and Cap Wall.
I second.
Motion and a second, all in favor, aye. Motion carried. Item number 3 is approved to pay bills. 36. No shot for one, carry the treasurers.
What page is it?
25, 26. Page 25, 26.
Second.
Some of that, the reason that's so big, Falls County, we have not received an invoice from them for the notice that goes back, July 13th, August 12th.
All of that was taken from our fiscal year 25
Yep.
as well. So it's not in our new budget.
Thank goodness.
That's 126,000 out of 150. Close to it. So it's the inmate housing. Wait, folks, pay the bill.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second, all in favor, aye? Motion carried. Item number 4, to approve the payroll.
Go ahead, Sean.
carried. Item number 5 is reports. Have a report here from the district clerk for the month of October. Senior services for November. Chesapeake Precinct 1. Richmond County Tax Office. Any other reports?
Make a motion to approve the report. Second.
Motion and a second to approve reports. All in favor, aye. Motion carried. Item number 6, burn ban.
No action.
Item number 7, special road use agreements.
Okay.
No action.
Anybody got any?
No action on number 7. Item number 8 is approved bonds and education certificates. Have a certificate of training for Michelle Mays for cybersecurity course from the Native Bay cybersecurity course. Native Bay online poll worker training. Michelle Mays online poll worker training. And Michelle Mays, professional education and development for the 43rd annual election of Lawson and North County election officials. Are there any other voluntary education certificates? Motion to approve those?
I'll
Say
make it.
those.
I'll make a motion.
Will you second?
Second. I'm sorry, I
I
didn't.
have a motion and a second. All in favor, aye. Motion carried. Item number 9 is canvass for November 4, 2025 election results. page. Let's see. This third page.
There's two, so that, yeah, that's early, yeah. 884, 605.
Renee, how many total registered voters do we have?
13,316.
Is that what this is on, it says total registered on here?
Yeah, I put in how many voters per precinct, so when it
So
counts.
that 13, we just had 2,000 people vote.
20 ballot by mails and 1 provisional, so.
Now, all that cotton gin had the best turnout?
That's up
Yeah. At 1.49%.
44.47%.
Say no more.
Yep, ain't that one. Is that the fire station?
At the lake,
Yeah,
25%.
The Southern, it's at Southern Oaks Clubhouse,
yeah.
right across the road, right across the street from the fire department.
I was telling Andy earlier, this is more voters than we've had on a constitutional since I've started. So,
Well,
We have a small problem that we need to look at. And the problem being that if you go early vote, and then you go to your place to vote, you can vote again.
you know what?
Ma'am,
What did you say?
I said, if you go early vote, like I go to Fairfield, then I go to vote at the place, the poll that I'm in, I asked them if I could vote, and they said, you sure can. And I said, no, I can't, I've already got early vote.
And when,
So
when that comes to us, we correct it on our teams.
When do you correct it?
Huh?
When do you correct it?
The day we get it.
I'm talking about when you get, how you gonna know that I voted twice if they don't know?
How do I know? Because I see it on my Connect system that comes through from the poll books.
Do they not see it that they would let me vote?
If they don't on election day, it's because we're not connected to internet at all, period, none. Because I don't have enough hotspots. I mean, Cotton Gin definitely doesn't have internet, neither does Butler.
Who doesn't have
Butler, you have to go walk outside to make a phone call out there.
Who else doesn't have it?
Cotton Gin, Butler, Doney. I think there's 5 precinct polling places that we cannot get internet.
does Candy Church in?
Yes, they do.
Who's that?
Candy Church.
I'm sorry.
Candy Church, turn them Costco's up, right?
Kenny does not have.
They don't?
Something happened, because that's where I vote at. And I asked them when I went out there if I was eligible to vote, and they said, yes, you are.
Yeah. But on election day, we are not connected at all.
I'm just saying we got.
So if we get your name twice, she or I catch it, and you only vote once.
Did y'all have anybody that did try to vote twice?
Normally on our poll books, though, if you come in early voting, it shows up pink that they've already voted on there. It says early voted ballot on the side of your name. And if, I guess if Claude tried to check in or something, it would have showed up because I entered those names in. I entered them in by hand this time for every early voting person.
Well, what I did is I went out to the polling place. I already voted. I went out there and talked to them, asked them if they were having any problems, whatever. And then I got away from there and I just wanted to check and see if I could vote again. So I called back and they said, sure, you hadn't voted yet. Come back to me.
But did you check in? Were you able to check in? Did you give them your driver's license to check in?
I didn't check in. I just asked.
Then you don't know if you could vote or not because they didn't pull up your name on the poll book to say that you had early voted.
They looked on the poll books and it said that I can vote. I'm just saying what they told me. I'm totally confused. And the other side of that is at the polls closed at 6:40, 7 o'clock. I had somebody call out there that had already early voted and asked them if they could vote there, and they said, yes, if you can get here before the polls close.
Before 7 o'clock, at 7 o'clock, we close the door.
I know, but I'm just saying they were early. If they went, they could have voted. And they already early voted too.
Well, if they come out there and they show us your driver's license and it says that you can vote, then they'll let you vote. But that vote will not count because once you come back to our office with that thumb drive from the DS200, your name and VUID number will be on there 2 times and we minus one of your votes. Plain and simple.
All the members on those other sheets.
I told you,
You can check out, because that's what we normally do.
yes, sir,
Yeah.
right. And on this one right here, Renee, do you sign that after we vote?
Yeah. That's a new form that they just put out for us, so I thought I'd go ahead and try it this go around.
And you need to see, or do y'all need to see these right here?
No, I don't care. No.
far as the serial number of the seal used on the transfer case?
Yeah,
There's
they don't put
four
them
of
on there.
So they don't, it's
Yeah,
not mandatory.
it's not mandatory. Some of them do, some of them don't, it just depends on how, I guess that evening, because they do this the night of the election,
Gotcha.
where they bring me everything they can bring me, that's what they, so they get this number here off of the actual voting machine that you put your ballot in, and this number here comes from the poll books. So sometimes you'll have more on the poll books because you checked in a provisional or reissued a ballot or something like that, so.
I just want to make sure that they
Yeah,
got,
yeah.
man, I just didn't know. I'm gonna double check.
You look down my book.
Who did these go to, back to you? Do you want these here too, or should they leave off of these? Just pull the
Yeah.
main
I
ones.
have that here to say that I can't miss it. So,
Let's get filed. That's good.
I make a motion to accept this canvas for the November 4th, 2025 election.
Second.
Have a motion, second, all in favor, aye? Motion carried. Item number 10, discuss purchase of new Ford, 404 drive 1 ton flatbed truck through chips board for road and bridge, precinct 2.
I'm gonna have a bit of it. We don't have one. We live along, and it's, I'm not gonna spend any more money on it. Like a 406 model, Gerald Lane. I wanted to get something that would make that other last one of that dump truck, so it's, anyway.
Chips is a board that,
Like
to keep
mine.
it, yes, like a dry board or HCC, keeps us from having to go out for bid. And then,
It guarantees you the lowest price out
yeah,
there.
those companies have already been vetted, and it's through the state. Keeps it already.
I make a motion to approve. I second.
A motion and second, all in favor, aye? Motion carried. Item number 11, we cast votes for the ballot of the board of directors for Freestone County Central Road District.
Still voting, see it, you got them from last time?
I don't have it.
I've got them somewhere. We had them before.
We did it for Mr., we were going to give
You'll have a
our,
copy of that.
From
handy
the
to you.
last time?
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
we were going to give some of our votes to Mr. Stanton Brown
Yeah.
and Sid Fryer.
Yeah.
Good.
I've got how many votes we get?
And we'll get some Jerry Johnson last time. Kind of split 3 ways, I believe.
We had 1,399 votes, it said on there.
is the last one that we did.
That's your 1200.
That's 1276 on last time,
Yeah.
we gained some votes. Don't wanna do it by percentage, just
Yeah,
on
let's
those
do
two.
it, we should figure.
We gonna fill one out. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
We did 65, like 35.
well, that'll put us on 13, that was 65, 13 in a minute.
I'll do 8 before, times.
See,
Proceed. Be 490 for the stand. We did the same thing. That's something I looked at. I make a motion, we, do 490 to stand the ground, and, what did I tell you?
909.
909 to see it.
I'll second your motion.
All in favor, aye?
uh,
Motion carried. Let me get this done. Renee, you can just leave this in this book so you can have all these copies of what thing.
Okay, that's fine. There's some other stuff, there's another page I have to fill out on there too, that goes back with that ballot. And so, I'll fill out everything and then I'll have Renee attest it.
Okay, I'm going to sign it. Item number 12 is contract services between Freestone County, Freestone County Soil and Water Conservation District number 424 for the calendar year 2026. I have that right here. Basically, we do this, we're agreeing that Freestone County Soil and Water Conservation District number 424 will provide services to the residents of the county as follows: respond to individuals and groups requesting technical aid concerning natural resources, work with Commissioners Court as requested on soil and water problems, provide educational programs for local schools and individuals, help with design work concerning water flow and culvert design, and work with emergency programs such as emergency watershed protection and disaster programs. It's a one-year contract. The county donates $2,000 to the district.
And we budgeted that in, I think, it's.
That's what we've been doing,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
It's the same thing.
I make a motion.
I second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 13 is, we're going to table that, have that today.
You need a motion to table.
Yes.
I make a motion we table
Second.
item 13.
Motion and second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Carried. Item number 14 is radio tower agreement between Freestone County and the Freestone County ARES. stands for Amateur Radio Emergency Service. Leonard, you want to tell them about this?
Yes, sir. So this contractor group came to me to see if the county would be interested in allowing them to move their equipment. They're gonna pay for all the move and everything themselves. Then move it to our county tower. It'll get it more centrally located for the county and provide a better coverage area for them. The point of the Aries group is there in place of the county communications being a complete failure, phones being a failure, anything in that nature. They can build their systems and run them remotely without a repeater or anything like that. Most of the group have what they call go boxes. So it's just a box that has a battery, the radio, everything in it that they need. They can take with them and go, and they can communicate on a simplex channel instead of on a repeated channel. They test it throughout the county. One of the guys that is on it lives out in Butler. You can pick them up over and work them on simplex. So the coverage for it's pretty good. And it's usually operating off of minimum 5 watts, which is less than what we have to operate in the county on our stuff currently. But there's no cost associated with it for the county at
What's the
all.
tower now, then?
Sir, where's the tower they're on now? It's out in Butler, right across from County Road 360, the K&S tower out there. It's out there, but they don't have, part of the coverage doesn't cover all of Portland and areas like that.
Yeah, north side of it.
North side of April.
So they're just trying to move centrally located where it covers the entire county.
Where they gonna put it? Carry it
On our
to-
county tower, right here off of Cotton.
I mean.
Yeah.
This is a 50-year
that's
agreement.
right.
50 year, yes, sir. And it says in there the terms, termination and everything like that. I did have Brad Evans look over it as well, just make sure that the attorney was good with it, and he was. Said he didn't see any negative to it at all, so.
Is that the county's tower? Is that their tower?
It is,
Do we own that tower?
yes.
This one here.
No,
Yes.
But we own one out there at 360.
No.
No.
I thought this was Richard today.
No, I was asking if we own this tower that we're trying to own this.
I have a motion, I have a second.
I'll second.
Motion and a second, all in favor, aye? Motion carried. Item number 15, review and discuss possible action on proposal financial intelligence software system for Freestone County for our auditors and treasurer's offices.
You guys went into that real quick. These are kind of an overview. I'm going to give you that packet for you guys. I just printed this off to kind of make it a quick reference sheet. So we pulled together a team. Here's the package. If y'all look back on like page 3 or 4 of this package, you're going to see a sheet like this. I'll go through that with you briefly. Yeah, it may have changed because we're doing some last minute updates.
We gotta change because.
Because that data's gonna go away whether we like it or not.
They're going away from the whole system. So,
You say go to page 4?
yeah, if you go to like page 3 or 4, mine's colored in this package, it's gonna be a sheet like this. I kind of go through with you quickly on what we were doing. It's up here, you're gonna see there was a team assembled, which was Tara, Callie, Amanda, Jennifer, Mandy, and myself, and Dana, okay? Which are all the people and users of the systems. So what we did is you'll see up here in these boxes of the different companies and vendors that we were taking consideration of. Now, this kind of specialized software, so we're, limited to what's available in the market. These are the primary players within the marketplace. What we had done is we kind of brainstormed what we wanted in the system, what we were needing on a whiteboard, and then kind of grouped it together. This one, and I apologize because y'all didn't color coded, but basically we color coded, like in the green, that was the auditor's needs, that top part. Then the white, which is reporting,
then HR, treasury, IT, business considerations, and then all, which is that bottom section. So what we've done is we basically, and you'll see, there's numbers out to the side of these things, right? So we basically said, what's the most important out of this list as a group? And that was the number of votes for each consideration. So if you see one that's at a high number on there, like number 5, custom reports, that was one of the big overall arching needs or wants within a system. And you'll see those numbers that go on down of what they were looking for. So we met with a number of vendors. Some of them are online, some are in-house. LGS, at the end of it, is I've got a concurrent letter that's on starting on page 2, that after we did all the evaluation, all the members of the group signed off on it, acknowledging concurrence that this is the system that they feel is best for us overall. So there's no pushback when we take it. Did the same thing whenever we did the other software with LGS. We did a similar process with that.
You said LGS, what was that?
I'm sorry, financial intelligence. So financial intelligence and LGS and the software that we operate with in our probation department, all these are under the same umbrella. They're different companies, but they're under the same umbrella group of companies, okay? So financial intelligence falls within that umbrella group of companies. So there's communication that goes on between LGS and financial intelligence if there's anything particular that needs to be done, which I don't really see that there would be. It is a software as a service, so it's a seat per seat. It's not like we're going to pay $500,000 up front for the software. It'll be a cost basis per month, which is, I think on that first page, you're seeing what a price per month is going to be based on the number of licenses. The thing, some of the uniqueness within the software that everybody, including you guys, would have the ability to do is if this is decided we need to go this direction, is say like during budgets, right? You guys would have, there would be a license that would allow all of our department heads, you guys, to be able to log in. They'd be able to prepare the budget. They would basically see what financial Dana and them are seeing. And you're going to be able to go in there and they're going to be able to line item the budget, instead of all this paperwork going back and forth and you guys having to review it. It would be basically available on the computer. What it's also going to allow you to do is during the mid-term of the year, say you're halfway through the year, you're going, how much have I spent, my budget, what line items does it come from, what I got left to spend. You guys would be able to log in. As commissioners, you'd be able to see basically everybody, right? But you'd be able to see your precinct as well. Won't be able to change anything. Only during budget will you be able to put in information, but after the budget's approved, y'all be able to view only, but you can come and look at any particular department, your own precinct or whatever, and see what budget was and what was spent and what's remaining in the budgets.
Instead of asking Tara for fresh copy.
Instead of asking, yeah. And realistically, I think as a group, everybody's on board. The system will allow us, if we select to, which I think everybody's on board within these departments, to go to a paperless system. Okay, so the system will allow us to get away from all this paper and paperwork, except when needed. You'll still be able to print it if you need it. But the county, as we're starting to look at some of these things we're doing, we're running out of storage spaces, right? And so going paperless is not a bad thing, right? Because we're basically, it costs us a lot of money for this paper, then we're storing it for years. And so it'll meet the requirements based on the state needs. It also is going to include the, of course, the treasurer and auditor were two parts of this, and this is what kind of lays out. So you got a payroll system within there. Now, you know, one of my first questions whenever we started talking was, well, we just took on this time clock plus, which I didn't ever think we were ready to go that route yet until we made this selection, okay? But we did, and it is what it is, and they're using it, hopefully it's working for them. This system, they will not connect with Time Clock Plus. And there's some reasons behind that I can discuss with you guys if you, it goes to some of the ownership, foreign ownership. So they do offer a clock process if we want to. We just have to, time clock plus, I think when that was put in place was a 2 or 3 year contract. I'm not sure, I never saw the paper, I wasn't involved with that. But this system will allow a time clock to be attached to it. It's just not going to be the one that we went with and selected. What else is there? But the girls, when they came in and did the presentation, all the girls within, the only thing that came, so we came to the board and we basically eliminated who's out. We're not, ended up with 2 left vendors. And one of them was LGS and the other one was government something or another, GovTech or something. But the only pushback was that GovTech is a little prettier, right? It basically had what we call a GUI, it had graphical user interface, it just looked
They
a
were
little
more
prettier.
for municipalities too, weren't
And
they?
it was designed primarily for the municipalities, yes. And that's what we were running into with a lot of these softwares. This was the only software that we explored that was designed by counties. It's Texas-based, so it keeps up with all the legislative changes as legislation's placed in Texas. They'll upgrade the systems to reflect those. It's only Texas-based, only, what I'm trying to say, a lot of these systems are based out of Tennessee, Florida, some other locations, so they're just not in tune with what we have, what we got going on here. So at the end of the day, that was the system that was been selected.
When we compare this in cost to what we're currently doing with net data, knowing that they're going away,
Here's what, and I printed this off, as I figured that'd come up, and it's a valid question. So we're looking on this one, they got a price, now that's for like 7, 8 licenses there, right? The other thing is you'll see a scanning on there that does look kind of expensive when you first look at it. Just hook up the scanner, about $175. We only got 2, one for each department, respectively. But the reason that scanning is $175 is whenever we scan into it, it's automatically going to index it within the system where that document belongs. So it's not just a scanner, it's actually looking at it. That price also includes that monthly cost, also includes the hosting. It's a cloud-based software, so we pay that per seat. The other thing we're working against is time, because we paid net data October 1st, right, or whatever, which actually got an invoice due from them. Most of these software companies are about 18 months out, roughly, or longer, 18 to 24 months out, which means then we got to pay another year to net data, kind of like what we did with the sheriff's office. The timeline on the system, if we move forward, they just happen to have a county that fell out because of some internal political stuff they had going on. I'll share with you guys if you're interested in hearing it. But they had a slot open, which would slot us for the start would be around April, into the second quarter. We would start the process of building the system. We would go live in September. Okay, so that puts us at deadline. We don't have to pay that data for another year. Okay. Now what we will have is, well, we've got to figure out one of the costs that we do have to consider is the extraction cost. And I'm not sure that we're going to have to extract a whole lot of data. We were talking, Dana and I were talking to our auditor last week. He's going to be looking at the system, got what we call sandbox. So the auditor can log into it and see how the general ledger is structured and how his auditing portal will work. So that's going to be taking place as part of the evaluation as well. But regardless, this is what the group came up with. Cost-wise, this is including the hosting and everything. Here's the sheet that's around for. Now, this was, keep in mind, this is like current year invoice we're fixing to get a bill on. Now, there's a hosting fee in there of $25,000, which that's for both of those. But even if the sheriff came off, that hosting fee is still going to stay some level. Okay. And so it's what does that come out to, at 4 months, it's like 36 a year or something like that, 36, 37 a year, something like that.
38.
We got the money,
Well, that's the other
That's a
thing,
good
we're not,
thing.
this is
Not-
the other
we're
thing.
not gonna start, we
We're
went
not-
too far to start paying next year.
Yeah, it wouldn't
we'll have the
go,
money next year.
it wouldn't go into effect, and that's the whole thing, is we got this perfectly timed, really, you know, as best as can be, because October, that'll drop off, so we won't have to pay that bill. This one won't come due until that same time.
What's the budget that?
That is your net
That is, that's their, they got bought out, and that's part of the issue, is when they got bought out, we're changing the system, so we're gonna have to change regardless.
That data is offering services under a different company, which is this hybrid.
Oh, okay,
But it's the same one,
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
don't know.
same one that Leon County went with, and they still, they've been paying 2 years, and they're still not using it. Anyway, I just know that, I think that the way they went about this selection was as good as we've ever done on a project.
Yeah.
We did it for LGS, the same, I used the same methodology as we did with
And I
those.
guess this was a little more streamlined because it's just 2 offices versus multiple offices at one time. But I do think that the reasoning for the company that they go about it in the right way is definitely a cost savings. It definitely puts us where they're going to be training. It gets it implemented faster, and it's in full use by the next fiscal year.
We're actually looking that we may, as I told them, I said, I'd really like to be able to get budgets built in the system this year. And it looks like we could possibly be able to do that, even though we're not live on it. We could go live on that module and start building our budget with it this year, get people kind of acclimated, everybody used to how you can get into it. The money part of it. So the considerations is we're going to have to, if we do an extraction from that data, like what we had to do with the other company, I don't know if it's going to be the same, but basically we're paying $7,500 in extraction times 2. Had to do 2 extractions, if you guys remember.
Yeah.
With this one, I'm thinking because it's financial, and this is part of the discussion with the auditor, is that we can go back, because if the auditor's already bought up, basically has already signed off on, say, 2024 audit, right? That you signed off on this year, I guess, or he'll sign off on 25, right? Once he signed off on it, then that stuff is pretty much closed, right? The only time that something may come up for request on documents is through what they call it, the Open Information Act or whatever. Somebody wants to get something, which, so what I'm thinking is we'll basically request all our data, which we own that data anyway, just ask for an export on it for that preceding 12-month period of time. So we'll go 12 months back, but we're not going to do a full file dump like we were doing, right? And of course, the way this is timing out is that the start and the end of our fiscal year. So that's going to be another thing, timing is that the data that year will be complete from the, for the auditing purposes. We basically build our general ledger with starting and ending balances. So we say on August 31st or September 30th, whatever it is, that date, nothing goes into the system, into the old system, into that data. We pull all those numbers. We basically load the general ledger with those ending and beginning balances, okay? And then we rock on, right? Because all the historical data, except for that year that I'm talking about, we'd have for auditing purposes. But everything else has already been signed off by the auditor.
Right.
So why go do all this file dump and clutter our new system with all this data that's really kind of
Shouldn't have to
irrelevant?
reach back
You
on
shouldn't have to go back unless there's
somebody came and requested.
freedom of
And
information.
we still have it,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't be accessible in this new system, but we would have.
Right. The other things that to keep in consideration, so the extraction, I think we're gonna get away from probably not having to do that, is what I'm hoping and expect. There will be,
If there is an extraction, what's it about?
well, I haven't had a firm bid, but I can assume based on what we have to check from the other offices where there was 2 at 7,500 apiece, that's 50,000. But I don't, like I said, I don't think we have to do that. There will be, whenever they come in and do the training and going live, as part of the agreement, we will pay for travel, you know, expenses, room and board while they're in here. They would have a team in here for about a week, training, doing the implementation. It will be built on that, which would be guesstimate anywhere from, I think it's gonna fall around 5, but 10 tops, but I'm thinking 5, because everybody's local to drive down here, so I'm gonna have a bunch of airfare and flights and stuff, but we can discuss that from a budget.
And they're out of,
Well, the base office is out of Conroe, so they're right down the road. So now they do have a lady that came in and did the presentation. She's out of Arkansas or New Mexico. She might be from Texas, but and she'll be one of the primary people coming in. Other costs for consideration is, and you'll see it on that front page of the documents I gave you guys. There's going to be a statement down here on the bottom of this that says it's like $5,000, okay, on that first page. So it's making $5,000. I talked to them about that. They said some counties do it, some counties don't. Been talking with Dana. Dana was supposed to do this first. She was going to do this presentation this morning. She's out, so I got that 8 o'clock call saying I need you to do the presentation. But at $5,000 is basically, it's mapping the general ledger, okay? So when we come off of that data, and building our general ledger, okay? Basically going in and say, this is how we want our general ledger built. You know, it's gonna get into some payroll stuff, you know, which, how Randy's got that stuff set up. It's basically giving us additional assistance for things that are outside of their system. That's on us. We should know our system, we should know how our general ledger is, and we should know how we're going to map it if we want that data presented. If part of the problem is that that data is so antiquated and old, this system's a lot more advanced. And I'll be honest with you, it's not any judgment on anybody, but people just don't know anything but that data. I mean, I ran into the same thing with the LGS system. People only know what they've worked on. And so asking them to take this information from this old antiquated system and going into this new system, how do we want it to look? And there should be some thought put into it. But Dana, I think, from my discussion with Dana, I think Dana's lending towards, we may want to exercise that. Because you only get one shot at it. Once that general ledger is built, it's hard to go back and change it, right? You got to get it right the first time. Once you get it, it's not pretty much forever. But if you don't get it right, then you're going to have problems forever. So it might be worth $5,000 to do that. So that would be one.
and in doing so, some of the problems we've had in the past as far as getting reconciled between the two offices, it's going to
It should eliminate a lot of that. I mean, yeah, I mean, because we're basically operating into the same system. I mean, you know, even from a paperwork standpoint for like purchase orders and requisitions, I mean, what I would envision and what the system supports is, say, Dane needs I get a request from Renee, Dane, I need a computer. She would be able to go in there as a department head, having access to that part of the system, put in a request. It come to me, there's a review process or approval process that we might have dual approval on it, right? Because right now, pretty much I'm initialing off on all computer type stuff, right? Comes to me, I look at it, everything is in the system, it's not paper flowing, okay? And even from y'all's standpoint, once we get here, you guys may end up with little laptops or something sitting up here looking at budgets and approvals and things of that nature. I mean, the system will support that. It's going to bring us into the new generation of technology. Huh? But the slide is right. It's going to save us money and having to pay another year of net data. I'm trying to, as soon as we get through with this, I'm jumping, I'm still trying to set computers, but I'm gonna jump over to net data extraction that y'all already approved in this budget for the sheriff's office, because we gotta get that moving. That way, hopefully, come September, October next year, we are done with net data. Zero, zilch, sheriff office, everybody's off of it.
That's the goal.
So this program offers the payroll, but we can't use the payroll because we use the,
No,
It'll do the payroll.
we'll use the payroll, it's the clock, it's the time clock, and that comes down to decision that, you know, I don't know how successful the time clock's been, how many users are using it, how happy the users are. I get a lot of different feedback from different departments that I ask about how's it going, you know. I understand what Mandy's trying to do. There may be an easier way of doing it.
but what we're doing right now, if we didn't have that time clock stuff, does this offer it?
There is an option, but not through Time Clock Plus. It would be a different apparatus. If do the same functionality, but it wouldn't be Time Clock Plus as the vendor.
And we have a contract with time clock, you said 2
There was a trial period, which I think was, how many months? I wasn't even here, 24 months or something, a year or two. I mean, we'll get our 2-year, I think it's like a 2-year contract. And so about the time we go live with this, it's gonna be coming to a renewal period, you know, and we can either,
We can either stay with what we got or move over to.
well, if we say with what we got, then they'll tie it into the system.
How much,
But-
how much did we pay on those, on that time clock system? Do you make know?
It's about 19,000.
19,000? And how much is this gonna save us by going with this?
Well, it depends on what you do with the time clock.
If you did away with the time clock.
It'd save $19,000.
But-
Divided by two,
Clyde,
3 years.
The whole deal is just, the time clock is minute in the decision we're making today. What we're talking about is going with this company versus net data.
This is basically going to replace all the systems that we have in for HR, payroll, your investment accounts, your auditor, treasurer office. All those systems the girls are always in there working on in both those offices, whether it's payroll, whatever. It's going to eliminate, or it's going to replace all those systems with a more advanced, more efficient system. I think that. And that's one of the things that kind of gets missed, but I mean, I asked Renee just regarding the LGS, how much more efficient is it with y'all's new system versus what y'all are on in that data?
We love LGS. It's so much easier.
And your efficiency though,
Yes,
are you more efficient, getting more done in less time?
yes.
And this is gonna be a similar type deal. So you save on labor costs, you know, as we grow, as we, you know, we're gonna be a growing county, as we grow, we're gonna have to bring more people on. But this should subsidize having to bring people on because the system is going to be more efficient.
It was explained to me that net data is like using an old IBM computer. Y'all remember those about 30, 40 years ago? But it has a different module face on the front. And that's kind of what net data was like.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
It was very limited.
Like I say,
That's what it was.
Yeah.
the time clock part, we were already in the contract. We've got to go with a company, whether it's NetData's new company or this company or whatever.
And it may not have to
We'll
pay
call that
another-
year out, but,
Who is NetData's new company?
That I-3 vertical.
yeah. Well, what we're deciding on today is a whole lot bigger than just a time clock.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
yeah,
this
time
is-
clock, that
this
is,
is like
we could get by without
everything
time
those
clock.
offices that they-
That's something that's optional. And as a matter of fact, according to, when I'm talking financial intelligence and I'm asking them how many counties that they're implemented in, how many are using time clocks and that aren't using time clocks, and it sounds like there's more not than there are, that people are using them. So that time clock thing is, I think that's something that we're trying to do internally to make some of the, you know, processing a little bit more efficient for payroll, but It's not something that's,
Just restructuring the sheet itself and taking all those in and outs out. I mean, we could bump your court just to change the way those sheets
but
are.
hopefully
And
this year, this is
and
one
that
that
would make
you
it
guys can
easier
see this
for
one
them to
across your desk here pretty quick. But this will be, that whole bill, if we get into this time slot, will be eliminated. It'll be the last time you see that bill. You may see a new one from F5, but it'll be the last
Are we
time.
going with the, what's going on? We need to make that decision today.
Yeah, the FI.
And the girls'
This
meet,
one right here, that's per user, it's $38,700 a year based off of this quote right here with this many users.
And now that's including the sheriff's, oh, yeah, no, I'm sorry, you're right.
Yeah, and then, again, if Dana wanted to exercise this $5,000 mapping system. But this is the monthly bill, we would be able to budget for that, and it's still a lot cheaper than what we're currently using right now.
Did you say Dana recommended you that $5,000?
I think she's gonna exercise that, so I would factor that. I think she really, to make her feel comfortable and knowing we're getting it right, I think that that's something, we got an option whether we want to exercise or not. That's really gonna be payments call, because that's, her.
I'm sure that she'll get advised as well from the outside auditor when they come and.
We're already talking with the auditor. We had, there's some calls with them. They were gonna come in, Dana kinda had scheduled in to sit down because we want them to look at it, and I told her, I said, let's wait. I said, I think it's too early yet to get him in here. And then I found that we can do what we call the sandbox. So I'll be able to give him a username and log into the system so that he can go in there and look at how the system's structured, what the meeting is about. He'll be able to do that from his office.
Right.
And we were gonna have him come in, but it's like $1,000, $1,200 for him to come in. I said, well, let's hold on that, let him do it from there and make sure we have all the questions ready for him before we get him to come in.
make a motion to go with,
Financial intelligence.
yeah.
Got a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Motion and second, all in favor, aye?
I think it's gonna make it a lot better for the county as we grow forward. I think it's,
Can't wait to get one out.
I'm gonna leave this would be the original signature, it's not the judge's signature.
Hope it don't rain, hope it don't rain on your time clock, on your laptop.
Item number 16. Discuss and consider possible action for the contract for construction of all roof on the Annex 3 building. I would like to ask that we table that because we are currently waiting on the tag insurance person to come out still. We have our quotes on,
I noticed on this one quote that Johnson Air bid on
that's different, that's on,
oh, it's a different deal. That's 16.
19.
yeah, it says on the supplemental, on the base of the 19. So, like I say, we definitely want to see what the adjuster says for selecting one of those roofing companies, if I could get a motion to the table.
Table, I make a motion to table, it's number 16.
Have a motion and a second, all in favor, aye? Motion carried. Item number 17, discuss courthouse restoration bids.
Here we go.
Yeah, here we go. So, went ahead, last week and to update from last court on the asbestos and lead stuff, we did move forward. We've got a company that's coming. Did they ever give us a right of way?
No, not yet.
Okay.
But she said whoever is in charge of the scheduling looks at it, they would call us and let us know when they would be able to go.
But we went ahead and filled out the paperwork. They're gonna go over, give us a report on the 23,300 square foot of the courthouse. Having that of the companies that had bid that we, I guess Andy and I have been going over the different stuff, pros and cons. But long story short, I think my best discussion was with RJK Friday. They have agreed to leave their quote the same. We may need to increase the contingency after talking with Sterling, which that's good. The number of days that they had quoted was more than the one that was just a little bit higher. And keep in mind, RJK was the second lowest bid. They became the lowest bidder once the lowest sent a letter. And
That's a bunch of lamp passes, y'all remember that sitting right?
And basically, the way it come in on the overall bid itself, RJK was $180,000 cheaper than the company right above them, which was Stoddard. And on the alternate one, which was the fire suppression system, they were $160,000 less on that. The only thing they were more on was they have a $25,000 signage that Stoddard didn't. And then, of course, on the days. But he did tell me that part of the reason that they had 540 days in there was due to the fact that they weren't 100% clear that we were going to be moved out of the courthouse. So some of that time was factored for working around certain offices on certain floors. So at the end of the day, what he told me was, he said, we want to get it done as fast as possible. We're not there to drag it out. It doesn't benefit them any at all to drag this out. So to think that they can, lessen that by 4 months was very reasonable. And that at this point, all he could do is give us his word that, they'll be trying to get it done as soon as possible. And the reason that we're doing this and we need to make a decision today is because of the letter that we've got to have turned in by December the 1st. We need to be using hard numbers, answering the questions in the request for additional funding paperwork.
We gotta have a number to tell them how much we need.
Correct. Yeah. And right now, that number, if we look at RJK numbers, they're overall minus the grant, minus our match, which is $859,000. That amount changed to $3,136,212. Would be additional funding unless we change that contingency just a little bit. That's the only way that it would add to it. Which the good thing about changing the contingency, if we don't use it, it's money that we're not actually requesting up front. But if it doesn't get spent, it's money we don't have to spend, and we're not asking the historical commission to give us 100% of it because it's contingency.
That's the 8812 bid.
Correct.
Okay.
And then one unknown on here that we never got clarification on, which could help us on $859,000, is the $300,000+ roof that we went ahead and put on the courthouse that we were verbally told should qualify as part of the $859,000. So that could really come back and benefit us.
Be $8 million, $499.
Yes, sir. Better.
360 on the roof.
Correct.
Plus it works, what we works in, goes off that too.
Well, that's why Karen can explain that better than me, I think, but
The reason why they lowered it from 15 to 12 is because we self-funded our entire master plan
Okay.
projects
All right, okay.
before we were.
So that kind of washed that out. Okay.
that's good because I'm kind of thinking, is there more deductions from the $859? But really, I think it's just the roof.
Because all the architect, everything we done that today was, that's really not today.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, and they said that as of that point, it's because we self-funded the master plan and, everything else leading up to us getting awarded the grant and then the district court grant.
So we're picking a contractor today?
I sure like to. Move forward this
Lord,
paperwork.
okay?
I second.
Have a motion and a second to go with RJK courthouse restoration. All in favor, aye. Motion carried. Item number 18, discussion of bonds on various county roads, XPO Energy. We did get the,
That's the biggest grant we can get.
Yes, I tried, it was worse on, letter paper, so I put it on legal. But, so that list came from, Chris from Hillport. He found that list, that's all the, bonds of Freestone County that was with XTO that they have replaced. The ones that are in green are the ones that we have gotten notices for thus far. And so, all the notices that I've gotten, that we've received in our office are all green. And there's more on that list. And so, but he said those are the ones that the list that he's gotten from XTO and the ones that Hillport has replaced the bonds on.
And everything
That's
that,
all they're gonna replace?
but what she's saying is that everything that XTO requested us to release the bond on, Hillcorp has already got a bond in place.
Okay.
Yeah, we weren't aware of it, but it's,
Okay.
so this is
Yes.
good.
Okay, good.
Yeah, the ones that are highlighted green are just the ones that we've received a letter of notice from the insurance company thus far. And that's all, every single one that we've received. I was able to find the bond for it.
We have the date, of the letter that XTO made that request.
Yeah.
I would say, I know I've made several copies. I have a copy on my desk. I knew that we've made several copies of
It
it.
was
But
in my old book.
I think that it's on my desk.
Is there
There was-
old book, is there old book in there?
I've cleaned everything out. Everything that was in your binders, there was so much, I've got it all pinned together and it's on my desk. Because I couldn't get it to fit that
That's some
binder.
stuff I was gonna keep.
Yes, I've got it all on my desk.
I think if we had a motion to release the bonds that XTO asked to be released within the last 30 days, knowing that Hillcorp has already replaced those bonds. We have fresh
I make
bonds
that
on.
motion. That was all we were worried about anyway.
We have a motion and a second, all in favor, aye? Motion carries. Item number 19, review and discuss possible action on quotes for new HCG units for county clerk's office.
Was that my stuff?
Yes.
Okay, I just put it in my file.
Yes, this was everything that was out of your old binder.
Really?
Yes.
Is any of that from, Mike, can you do that? Really don't need anything.
What do you need, last time?
When Mike was here,
Is that what he left us?
we got it. Okay, on item number 19, we have 2 units that are bad. I think the way the county clerk's office is working right now, we've got 1 unit that the air works and the heat don't. And we got 1 that the heat works and the air don't. So we're feeding over the weather each week. That's how which thermostats they're using. The 4-ton package unit that's up there, we got a quote from Johnson Air for $14,750. And that's with curb adapter, any additional materials, training, rental, labor. And on the 7.5-ton package unit, $21,000 quote. And that comes with curb adapter, any additional materials, training, rental, and labor. From Bob Stone, we had a quote for the 4.5-ton for $16,995, which was higher. 7.5 ton, $19,975, which was $1,025 cheaper. But the quote for 19,975 does not include work done by an electrician, and it did not include the permit. So
Much more done.
Johnson Air is going to be the cheapest for both units. We did budget $50,000 for AC units. The one of these two right here will be up $35,750. Lose $14,250.
I make a motion to use Johnson Air on these air conditioners.
I have a motion and second, all in favor, aye? Motion carries. Item number 20 is to approve the mental health counseling services agreement for Hopcog for fiscal year 2026.
How much counseling do you get for $1,300?
It's reimbursement.
We will pay and get reimbursed.
What did you say, we pay that, they get reimbursed, what is it? For what we don't use?
Have that in order.
That's more crazy people in Hill County.
Yeah, but it's, I mean, what Hopcog's done for us over there, every little bit helps. I mean, it's a great program. We're kind of grouped in there with, you know, part of McLennan County and Hill County, which is a lot more population than us, but overall, of all the programs that we're involved with, Hopcog, it's been good to this county. And a lot of it's just filling out surveys and requesting, and you're not gonna get nothing if you don't ask for it and don't talk about it. Attendance and going to the meetings, that helps a bunch. But they, for what we get for this program, and no more than we have to do, most of it's effort more than anything. It's not necessarily monetary, it's just us taking the effort up to fill out, check the emails and stuff like that. But it's a great program for the county.
I'll make a motion to approve the mental health counseling service agreement for Hopcog for the fiscal year 2026.
Second.
Have a motion and a second, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Motion carried. Any comments from Commissioner Court?
How did we figure that on the roof? What was the, when we had that problem that last rain?
It was from the subcontractor that redid the downspouts, the metal work, where there's an opening at the bottom of the parapet, and that water goes through that opening and turns and goes down the downspout. They didn't have the metal going all the way through. The water was basically breaching through the roof, right down the wall. That's what caused a lot of damage on the fourth floor of the district
Good to know.
judge's office.
So they fixed it, did they have to do anything as far as painting or
that we were we have an agreement with them. There's been about 4 different times that there's been damage to plaster and paint inside the courthouse because of leaks that contractor neglect. It shouldn't happen. So we'll either be requesting a lump sum from that contractor for having those repairs made. They will come in and make the repairs at their expense if we ask them to. We hated to do that because of the restoration. So we're kind of in limbo right now.